Good afternoon, and welcome to MotilNet, where we're going to continue working on some technical analysis and some future price action on various stocks and equities across the market. Today, we're going to take a quick look at the price action of Fisker, FSR. As we've seen today, there was some great action. Pre-market, things were looking a little bit bearish. But we were able to hold the trend line. So anyone that wanted to take a long today, basically a great entry would have been somewhere around the 585 to 590, 598 area on the breakthrough if you were playing pre-market. We don't necessarily suggest to play pre-market. Normally we look for the third or fourth candle on the 15-minute. So let's assume you were actually going to play off the 15-minute candles and start your day at around 10:30 a.m. to go long. If that was the case, what we like to do is to look at the first 15-minute candle. We're using Heineken Hashi candles. If it's green, what we'll do is we like to measure it from the top to the bottom of that specific candle to get an idea of where the price action could go for the day. We're going to do the same thing for the red candle. And make that red. Now we can see what's happening. Now the third candle basically shows you here you have a higher low even though it's a lower high, right? So it's kind of an in-between candle, followed by a nice doji over here, which is like a shooting star style. Now at that point, what I like to do is to see that that's considered a reversal candle, and it's holding here, in this case, our 20 EMA on the 15-minute. So we're going to extend these fibs right across to 10:45 a.m. and basically get an idea of what happens over here. As you see, it's playing the 618 against the high from the morning and trying to get into the 786. It's holding, so that's perfect. As the trend line is starting to come in, the yellow one here is the 200, it's the 8. So as we see, we're following the trend. We'll continue bringing the fibs right across to see when we can get to that one and break it. Now, as long as we're staying above, let's call it the yellow brick road, which is our 8 on the 15, we're doing good. So what you would have liked to do is to come in. If you were already long from earlier, perfect. What you wanted to do is take a little bit of profit in front of the morning high. So at 6:31, you wanted to get out a little bit, maybe around 6.25, take some profit, let it come back and retrace. And as you see here, it basically held the 236. And then started looking again a little bit bearish, but it was holding the 8 on the 15. So you may have wanted to come, and if we look over here as well, we can see that the selling pressure is actually going down. So this is like just a regular retrace, nothing crazy. And then the buyers start coming back in. So we held at 2.236, made a nice another attempt at the 786. On the next candle, we came in at 621. So this would have been another perfect entry right here around 621. Let's bring that across. Now we're getting to the game. So if your re-entry here was in the 610 to 620 area, even though you already took profit up here around 626, you're just taking a little bit back. If you wanted to reload, or if you're starting a new position, this is a good spot. The 1618 is your first target. So by 1:45 p.m., you would have hit that. The next target is the 2618, which is $6.71. It hit $6.70 right at 2:30 p.m. bring it across to the end of the day. So the 2618, you could have got your second profit. At that point, you want to take around 50% of your position off the table if you're playing it on the day or swing. Then you got the bonus, the 3618, and almost got the 423. But anyway, the 3618 is a great target as well. Look at that, $6.98. It hit the high of $7.06 just before the close. And then on the last candles, and then we're coming back a little bit. So now what we want to do is look at what's going to be the action potential for tomorrow. So if we're going to use the overnight, very possible we're going to have a retrace. But what we want to see hold is the level here, $6.33, 632, 633, right around there, basically the 1-0. Let that become the new support zone. If not, you're still in from lower, so you have a couple of options. Right now, obviously we're after hours, you can't put any stops in. But we have a nice convergence going here where the 50 is starting to cross over VWAP in the overnight. That was, of course, that finished about an hour ago. So what we can do is we can see what would be a worst case scenario. So we take bottom to top of this big candle. So there's our 0-1. So we want to do, remember we said here, we want to hold around $6.32. Look at that. That's the minus 2618. So if you were shorting from up here, you basically wanted to take the short at the break of the 8, but it's still a risk because you have a lot of support coming in, and the 8 is already working basically with the 20, and they're starting to actually build up. And I think we're going to have some nice action tomorrow on the positive side. So if we're looking on the upside, let's take the top to bottom here, change that to green. Okay, so now we can get an idea of our targets for tomorrow. Look at this nice closing volume. This is incredible. It's beautiful volume for Fisker. And remember, in a couple of weeks, they got some news coming up for their new models. Today, they got some new financing for 350 mil. So that's going to help them out with some cash that's needed for the new models. So that's going to be good. And I'm bullish. I got in on Friday. Average cost right now is about $5.78. And took just a little bit of profit. So what we're looking at here is basically retest 705 in the overnight and stay between 705 and 676, right around here. That's so far the overnight low. So if we can stay in that zone and then break out, so basically we want to kind of see something like that into the day and get the day started around 770, 780, which I would say is definitely a good spot to take profit. Now, how do we know that? We go to the left, right? Go to the left, go to the left. We don't see it on the 15s, so let's go to the daily. And right about here, $8.46. Now, if we look at the red line, that's the 200. We just made those charts there. So we actually broke over the 200, which is at 674, which is great. And that's why we're using that around as the marker of what it's got to hold. If it breaks 674, like I said, if you're still in it and you didn't take profit, you might want to have a 50% stop at 675, 673, 672. At least get some profit, get that 35, 40 cents. And then if we come back to 630, so if it kind of like comes back to 630 and then bounces, you want to do a little reload around there. But if 630 cannot hold, then we're going downwards. But I don't think so. Again, like I said, we're looking very positive here. Right now we're holding that line above 651, which is perfect. Targets here, 799, 8, 845 in that area. And if we break, then we're looking for about $10. But we do have some resistance right here at about $8. All right, so hope you enjoyed that.